Greetings, Internet! My name is the Bearded Ferret, and welcome to another Pokemon Sun and Moon Thoughts, Reaction, Idea, Fun Time video. Strap your seats in and get yourselves all buckled up because this one's gonna be a big one because it's kind of a two-in-one. A little bit back I was on vacation and we got a drop of a bunch of new Pokies that we never got a chance to talk about, and then yesterday we've got another trailer that revealed a ton of new information, so we've got a lot to go over, a lot to talk about. So if you're excited for this video, do give that like button a nice little poke for me, and let's just jump right on in with the holy crap ton of Pokemon that we just got. Like a lot, like so many. And some of these first ones I want to talk about really quickly are a bit on the older end at this point. They're kind of older news, but I never got the chance to talk about. So right off the bat, I want to talk about Salandit, the poison, toxic, fire, lizard, awesome. Like, one of my new favorite Alolamon was this guy when he was first dropped. I don't really remember. It was a while back, but it can poison anything. Nothing is safe from this guy, and that is awesome. And I really hope that he continues to like evolve into something awesome and amazing, and it's just awesome. I just wanted to say that. And then some of the other new Pokemon we got Beware, we've got Mimikyu, Wimpod, Bounsweet, Comfey, and Mudsdale. All were revealed a little while back, and when I first saw Beware and Mimikyu, to me they looked fake because it was in the core leaks and I knew they were real, but I was like, wow, those don't really look like Pokemon. And Beware, I'm still kind of like, you kind of look out of place. Like, every bit of artwork I see for him, it just seems weird. But Mimikyu, now that I've like done a little more research into it now, Mimikyu is awesome. Like, I thought it was weird because it was like, it's just a Pikachu, but there's so much more to it. It's a Pokemon that just wants to be popular, and it has like a built-in substitute for its ability, and that's so cool. I love it. It's definitely grown on me. My only gripe about it is I think it's weird that an entire species of Pokemon decided, hey, we all want to look like Pikachu. I think it would have been cooler if Mimikyu had different costumes, and I mean, to me, Mimikyu, I highly doubt it will evolve, so it's a one and done thing. So since it's not going to evolve, give it a more of like a gimmicky aspect, and maybe they will in the future, but have other Mimikyus be like, hey, you know what? I want to be popular. Charizard is popular. Oh, hey, I want to be popular. Mewtwo is popular. Oh, I want to be popular. Greninja is popular. And, oh, I want to be popular this month. Well, and have different costumes, and, not a ton, but just, like 5 or so, just like a small variety of Mimikyus, rather than every single one being like, I want to be a Pikachu. But either way, it's a really cool Pokemon. Then we have Wimpod, Bounsweet, Comfey, and Mudsdale, and maybe not so much Mudsdale, but the other 3, Wimpod, Bounsweet, and Comfey, were all really just kind of meh. Maybe they'll evolve into something better, but I mean, Wimpod is a wimp, basically. And I mean, it's something, I guess. Maybe Wimpod becomes that other, what is its name? Brooksish. That would be kind of funny because it's not really ugly, but I could see if people would thought it was ugly, but I could just be stretching. Who knows? And I feel like they would have revealed it. But either way, it has the Wimp Out ability, which literally makes it flee. So nothing really special there. Maybe it will become something better. Bounsweet just looks like Cherum. It's just kind of there. It smells delicious, I guess. It's really there. And then Comfey, like, it's funny because it makes sense since we're in the Alola region, but at the same time I was like, oh look, it's Klefki's Hawaiian cousin. And I mean, it's there. It's a cool design, but it's kind of one of those like, I can't really picture anything crazy from this. So it's just kind of like, that's the problem I'm seeing with some of these, like in this batch of Pokemon at least. All these Pokemon kind of seem like they're just one and dones, and maybe they won't. Maybe when the games come out, we'll get a lot more, but it's just kind of eh. And finally, we have Mudsdale, which, since we're going to talk about Mudsdale real quick, we'll dive into the new stuff too. I felt this was kind of weird. We got Mudsdale, however you say it, first. And then in the new drop yesterday, we got Mudbray, the previous evolution. And it's interesting to me that they showed us the final evolution first and then the previous evolution. And we got our donkey Pokemon. Mudbray's the donkey Pokemon. They're ground type. And honestly, at first, when I first saw Mudsdale, I was like, alright, this is a horse. We got Ponyta and Rapidash. That's a horse that's on fire. That's way cooler. But Mudsdale is growing on me a little bit, especially with the stuff in the new trailer where you can actually ride Mudsdales and showing Mudsdales bursting through like rocks and stuff. And my buddy Sanzo was saying, like, is that a sign that this is the end of HMs? And my answer to that is, I don't think so. I don't think this is the end of HMs. I think it would be awesome because in the trailer you see, certain Pokemon breaking through certain things, and it looks like it eliminates Rock Smash. But I just don't think there will ever be a point that we will truly not see any more HM usage. I think it'll be kind of like X and Y, where it's very limited to what you need to use them for. Mainly the only one I can remember actually needing to use is Surf and I believe Waterfall in X and Y. So, but other than that, you use the HMs to kind of get like the more hidden items, stuff like that. I don't think we'll ever see that go away. But anyway, then we also got the previous evolution here, Mudbray, the donkey Pokemon. And Mudbray could once be found all over the world, but it was overhunted and ended up on the verge of extinction. It's said that the Alola region is the only place in the world where Mudbray can still be found in the wild. Mudbray boasts superhuman strength, a surprise considering its small body. Mudbray can carry loads up to 50 times its own weight on its back or dragging behind it. Mudbray loves playing in the mud. It's easy to live in harmony with this Pokemon, as long as you provide an environment where it can play in the mud. If it can't frolic in the mud, however, Mudbray will seem stressed and may stop listening to orders. So I wonder if that will be a thing, like if you're trying to raise up a Mudbray, and I don't really know how they could incorporate that. But anyway, so Mudbray evolves into Mudsdale. It's pretty cool. It's a donkey. It becomes a cool horse that you can ride around. And the more I look at Mudsdale, the more I'm like, you know what? It's a solid design. I like it. And so then moving on for other new Pokemon, we have Minor. Minor is this, when I first saw it appear on the screen, like for the trailer, it was like, okay, it's a rock flying. It's the meteor Pokemon. It's there. And then I was like, I wonder what this thing could evolve into. And then the shields down thing happened, and its little core popped out. So I was like, okay. But again, what could this evolve into? It seems like we're getting a lot of gimmick one and done Pokemon, and I don't know how I feel about that. And again, could be wrong. There's potential for a lot, but Minor are formed in the stratosphere and live by absorbing the thingies, I'm bad with words, around them. When they've consumed a large amount of particles, their bodies become heavy and they fall towards the planet's surface. Minor have a hard and heavy outer shell with a core inside. The meteor Pokemon seems to be made in such a way that if its shell breaks, it becomes lighter and can deal out quick attacks. When its shell breaks, the core in its center is revealed. You won't know what color will appear until it happens. Minor's core will change color depending on the particle colors that the breed has absorbed. Pastel coloration has a cute look, so this Pokemon is often designed for clothing and accessories. So, I mean, nothing really major special there. Kind of cool with the whole core thing, but other than that, just kind of Then, after that, we got Formantis and Lurantis. And I see the design, and I was like, wow, that's really cool. But I feel like they made the same mistake they did with Flabébé and Florges, that whole line, by only making it, actually did the opposite. With Flabébé and Florges and all that, they're pure fairy. These guys are pure grass. And if you like, both of them should be fairy grass, grass fairy, respectively, because they just fit the bill. Both design-wise, move pool-wise, color-wise, it just seems to fit. Unless there's something that I don't know about this guy, or these two. But Formantis is nocturnal. It performs photosynthesis while it sleeps during the day by spreading out its leaves in all directions. Because of the danger of staying in the same location 2 days in a row, Formantis begins its search for the next day's spot as soon as the sun sets. For Formantis, photosynthesis is not just a source of energy, it's a necessity to achieve the strength and brilliant color of its evolution form. Photosynthesis is precious and will fiercely attack those who get in the way. They excel at long-range attacks like Razor Leaf and Solar Beam. Solar Beam is indeed a powerful move, but since its energy the Pokemon is stored through photosynthesis, it's rarely used. And then for Lurantis, draws opponents near with its flower-like appearance and aroma, then takes them down. It is said to be the most gorgeous of all grass-type Pokemon. Due to its brilliant coloration and elegant moves, appearance is maintained through detailed grooming. It will trust a trainer who does a good job caring for it, but will apparently have a difficult time growing closer to a lazy trainer. Apparently Lurantis is the totem Pokemon of Lush Jungle, the site of the Akala Island trial. It will overwhelm trial goes with the powerful combos it unleashes with the Pokemon allies it calls. Oh, I didn't know that. I mean, I know about the trials, but we'll get to that later. But yeah, and I also know they have a new move, like Solar Blade, and that looks cool as hell. But then we have this little birdie, Orichoro. I don't know. There's 4 of them, and its typing varies depending. I believe it's Fire Flying, Psychic Flying, Electric Flying, and Ghost Flying, respectively. But it's interesting, and again, interesting in the way of what could this thing evolve into? And I know I keep saying that, and I keep saying it, and I keep saying it, but that's been kind of my thought with the past couple of Pokemon reveals. Well, the other thoughts I've also had is, you guys are revealing a lot of Pokemon and not much else, at least before this trailer, but again, we'll get to that in a minute. But Orichoro changes its form by sipping the nectar of certain flowers, so it has 4 different forms. The same as the number of islands. It would seem that the different Orichoro live on each of the islands. The ballet style Orichoro is very passionate and power fills its body when it dances. It sends down fluff flying during its intense dances. By igniting this fluff, it can unleash future dance attacks. The pom-pom style is very friendly towards people, uses dancing to encourage trainers who are feeling glum, so it's a cheerleader. The pause style acts at its own pace, so it makes it difficult to deal with. It sharpens its spirit. And then the sensu style is quiet and collected. By means of its dance, it gathers the spirits drifting along and borrows their power to fight. People who migrated from Kanto feel a great liking for this Pokemon because its dance reminds them of their homeland. Interesting. Personally, my favorite of the 2 are the Fire Flying one and the Ghost Flying one. I think they've got the most solid designs, and they just seem to fit. So, I mean, overall, they've all got interesting designs. Those are just my 2 personal favorites. And the only other Pokemon new that we got, I believe, debunks one of my earlier theories on Yungoos. I theorized that maybe Yungoos would evolve into Zangoose because Yungoos was brought from a different region and it seemed to fit, but apparently that is not a thing because Yungoos here evolves into Gumshoes here, which looks just kind of the same, just a little older. I guess that's how evolution works, but there isn't really much to it. It is the stakeout Pokemon, and he's just kind of here. He can get the strong jaw ability. That's pretty cool. But Gumshoe's method of targeting prey is the exact opposite of Yungoose's. While Yungoos prowl around, Gumshoes stakes out its prey, usually routes and waits patiently for it to come by. Gumshoes has a tenacious personality, which is why it targets one prey for so long without wavering. But when the sun goes down, it runs low on stamina, falling asleep right on the spot. Gumshoes can withstand a great deal of hunger. It is able to stay perfectly still while waiting for its prey, keeping watch without eating a thing. And I mean, that's really it for our little Gumshoes here. I was a little disappointed because, again, design-wise, it's not anything amazing to me, and I really liked the idea of a new Pokemon evolving into an old Pokemon. It's been a long time since we've gotten pre-evolutions for previous generations. But that was that. So yeah, overall, the past couple of trailers we've gotten have had some really cool mons and some kind of underwhelming. Not really sure where you're going with this mod. So hopefully once the game comes out, we actually can access the Pokedex and we can catch them all. Some of these guys will present a little bit more to the table. But moving on from that, something even better happened in this newest trailer. Something game-changing in a very positive way. Something that when I first saw it was like, I am totally behind this idea, and that's awesome. And it's called Alola Form. And it's so far, we've got a small handful of Kanto Pokemon that this has affected. Vulpix, Ninetales, Sandshrew, Sandslash, and Executor. And essentially what it is they have adjusted to a new environment, so they are still the same Pokemon, but different. They're Delta Pokemon. Their typings are different, and their designs vary depending on it. And that's awesome. It's so cool. It's so real life. It is real life, and animals, depending on where they are, they adjust, and it's so cool to see that. That is a really cool way to breathe a new life into old Pokemon like this. So basically we have Alolan Sandshrew and Alolan Sandslash. They are Ice Steel, and from what Cerebi is saying here, Sandshrew have historically lived in desert areas, but the frequent eruptions of nearby volcanoes drove the Sandshrew to abandon the desert and migrate to snowy mountains, where they took on this form. Sandshrews' body changed to adapt to the harsh environment of the snowy mountains. The Alolan Sandshrew has a shell of ice covering its skin, which is like a hard steel. It excels defensively, but it lacks flexibility and can't curl its body into a ball like a ground-type Sandshrew can. Its heavy weight makes the Alolan Sandshrew slower than a normal Sandshrew, but the claws on its hands and feet allow it to move across ice without slipping. When it wants to move quickly, it uses its stomach to slide across the ice like a curling rock. Or a penguin! So Alolan Sandshrew is a penguin. That's funny. And then Alolan Sandslash. The Alolan Sandshrew of the Snowy Mountain evolved into Alolan Sandslash with spiny backs that are covered in ice. Thanks to their ice coating, these spikes are large and sharp. Alolan Sandslash hide themselves in the snow when strong enemies appear, leaving only their needles exposed and ready for business. The weight of the ice that covers its body makes the Alolan Sandslash heavier than normal Sandslash, and this causes them to be slower. Yet in snowfields and on ice, they move by creating a path with their claws, and so they're able to move with swiftness. The sprays of snow kicked up by Alolan Sandslash's movements are so beautiful that many photographers head to the snowy peaks to capture the moment. However, Sandslash live deep in the mountains, and there is a great danger of becoming stranded, so it's forbidden to climb the mountain without permission. So it's cool. And then moving on to Vulpix and Ninetales, it is said that Vulpix came to the Alolan region together with humans, but the fox Pokemon moved to the snowy mountain peaks to avoid the normal habitats of other Pokemon, and thus ended up taking on this form. These Alolan Vulpix live in the high mountains that remain covered in snow year-round. They live in small packs of 2 to 5 individuals, helping one another survive. Alolan Vulpix can freeze anything solid by expelling breath at a temperature of minus 58 degrees Fahrenheit from its mouth. It doesn't fare well in the heat, but when the temperature gets too high, it produces ice from its tail to lower the surrounding temperature. And Alolan Ninetales live in snowy peaks that is revered in the Alola region as a holy mountain. They are treated as sacred emissaries, and people meet them with awe and fear. This Pokemon's personality is extremely gentle, and at times it has helped humans who seem to be in distress. However, it shows no mercy at all to anyone or anything that dares to damage its territory. The Alolan Ninetales is able to produce ice crystals from its fur that cover its body, and can use these ice crystals to block attacks, or it can form balls of ice with them, which it fires like bullets at opponents. The power of the ice missiles is great enough to pulverize rocks. So far, all of these have one thing in common: ice, snow, the mountains. So they've all migrated to the mountains, and as we know in the Alola region, there are many different islands. So I'm thinking we're going to get a lot, kind of like Mega Evolution. I think this is going to replace Mega Evolution, and I'm okay with that. I'm a little sad to see it Mega Evolution go, but this is such a cool idea that I'm 100% behind it. And I know it's totally been a thing, and it's a huge thing in Insurgents. There's TCG cards that have different typings for mons, but this is just really cool to implement into the games because it's old Pokemon migrating and adjusting to new areas, and there are so many things they can do for this. And while, again, I don't think we're going to get a whole lot, and I don't think this is going to be a thing, this will kind of be Gen 7's big thing, kind of like Mega Evolution was Gen 6's big thing, but I really hope we see a lot more for each island, seeing, like we've seen fire and ground types become ice types, Will we see a dark type become a fairy? Will we see a fire type become a water type? An electric type become a psychic type? Like, there are so many possibilities that they can do with this, and it's so cool to see happen. So I really hope they run with this, and that this isn't just like a very small thing. And I also hope that it's easily accessible in the game, like not just like some sort of post-game thing or whatever, but that like you actually have a chance to use this. And I'm so excited for Sun and Moon now. There's Alolan Pokemon I want to use. There's these new Alolan forms I want to use. So I'm like, I'm going to have to play this game more than once so I can use more of the Pokemon that I want to use. But the final Alolan form, and my personal favorite, is Alolan Executor. It is so, like, I first saw the trailer, and this was the first thing that popped out, and I burst out laughing like, oh my god, that's hilarious. And it works, it fits. I've never understood why Execute evolves into Executor, but this form of Executor makes total sense. We're in Hawaii, it's a palm tree, it makes sense. And Alolan Executor, the environment of the Alola region, where strong sunlight pours down all year round, brought about this change in Executor's form. The people of Alola boast that Alolan Executor is the true form of Executor, unlike any other Executor. The Alolan Executor has a fourth head on its tail. This fourth head controls the tail independently and can take on opponents to the rear that can't be reached by the main head's attacks. These Pokemon excel at whipping its long neck like a lash to attack with its hard heads, but that neck can sometimes become its weakness, much like a giraffe. But honestly, it's like I said, it just fits. It's so cool. It's awesome, and the memes that have come from it are hilarious. And honestly, to me, like, I was thinking about it, and I was like, honestly, Alolan Executor could just be Mega Executor. But it was Alolan Executor that made me think like this is replacing Mega Evolution, because while the other Alolan forms change type like drastically, Alolan Executor is a grass dragon. It's a dragon. So I mean, it doesn't really change its typing all that much. It's still a grass type. It looks like this would be what Mega Executor would look like if Mega Evolution was still a thing. So I truly think these Alolan forms are replacing Mega Evolution, and I'm A-okay with that, because it's not Pokemon fusion. It is not trainers fusing with their Pokemon. It's something creative, it's something different. It is Pokemon adjusting to a new environment and taking on new characteristics. I am A-okay with that replacing Mega Evolution. So that is awesome. And the final thing that we got from all of this is we've got island trials. The island challenges. There are four like captains. We've got Lana, Malo, Sophocles, and Kiowan. Yeah, I'm bad with names. But we got these four guys, and they are the captains of the trials. And then at the end, you have to face the Kahunas. And Hala is one of the Kahunas, and you have to face Totem Pokemon. So my buddies and I were talking about it, and we're wondering, is this going to replace gyms? Rather than taking on the 8 gyms, we have to face the 4 captains and then the 4 grand trials, or the Kahunas. Would make sense, because you're going out on an island challenge. Even at the beginning of the game, the professor says you have to take on the island challenge. So rather than the gym challenge, where we face the gym leaders and the Elite Four and the champion, so far it looks like we're taking on trial captains, then grand trials, and then maybe something more after that. My fucking cat is so dumb. But it seems really interesting. And there's one for each island. There's water, there's a grass, there's an electric, and a fire, I think. Yeah, experts in fire types. And it's interesting. We didn't get a whole lot on it. It's just that, like, these are the captains. You're going to have to face a grand trial, and then you're going to have to face the totem Pokemon. And at the end of each trial, you'll come across a totem Pokemon. Like, the other grass Pokemon, I didn't realize was one, but Gumshoes was the main one that they showed, and it, like, bursted out in aura, and it brought its defenses up, and then it called a Yungoos to help it out. So, okay, it just seems like there's so much these trials, and if that's what it's gonna be, if there's no more gyms, there's these trials, that makes me even more excited for Sun and Moon, because these games are going to be the most original Pokemon games we've gotten in years. There's been so much good leading up to these, and we're really close. We're in August now. It's only a few months away, and that'll go by like that. And it's crazy. So far, though, it seems we only know two of the Potom Pokemon. The Gumshoes and Lurantis of the Lush Jungle and something else. I don't know. That seems to be, but it's highly likely that that other Tiki, I'm currently blanking on its name, but will probably be the Mon that we have to face Hala against in the Kahuna trial. But it's crazy, and actually, I'm just remembering that is not quite the last thing, but that's really all there is about Grand Trials right now. Is you fight a totem Pokemon, you have captains, and you have the Kahunas, potentially replacing gyms. It's very interesting, but the actually final, we're at almost half an hour for this video, oh my god, but the final thing that we got from this are Z moves. Now, a little while back, we've been seeing, like, the trainers doing weird, like, poses, and it seemed like that was going to be, like, synchro, fusion, and those were the special dances, but no, it is, in fact, Z moves. And it says, following on from Mega Evolution, Pokemon Sun and Moon introduces a whole new mechanic, which once again utilizes a ring on the trainer's wrist. These are Z moves. The moves are incredibly powerful moves and can only be used once per battle. So this seems like Nintendo's true replacement for Mega Evolution, but I don't really see it as that because it's just a move. But anyway, you can only use it once per battle. The Z ring is the item that activates it, with the Z crystals being needed to be held by the Pokemon in order for the moves to be activated. There is a Z crystal for each type of Pokemon. There are a few restrictions as well as only once per battle. The Pokemon has to know a move of the same type as the special Z crystal. So a Pikachu can't use Bloom Doom unless it knows the move Grass Knot. That's interesting. So yeah, I guess this is the true successor to Mega Evolution, which is a little disappointing, actually. But either way, we've got the Alolan Form, so it's fine. It's whatever. But the known Z moves we have so far are Gigavolt Havoc, Bloom Doom, Inferno Drive, and Hydro Vortex. And the trailer says that there is a move for every single type. And now that I read that about the crystal, that's interesting. So any Pokemon can use any move so long as they're holding the appropriate crystal and have a move of the same type. So for example, let's just say Pikachu knew Dark Pulse. If it was holding the Dark Z crystal, it could use whatever the Dark Z move is. At least that's what I'm getting from this. But there really isn't a whole lot to talk about this. The animations for them are really cool. Bloom Doom is like a flower and the explosions. Inferno Overdrive shows just like this fire and then a bunch of explosions. Hydro Vortex has this huge water tornado, and Gigavolt Havoc just has like a big lightning bolt. It's interesting, and there are different poses, it appears, but overall, like I said, this is really the first time I've looked into it, so this is the successor for Mega Evolution, and I'm a little disappointed in that. Originally, just watching the trailer, I didn't really read on Serbia or anything, just watching the trailer, I was like, oh, that's a cool, interesting mechanic, and to me it was like, oh, and these Alolan forms are replacing Mega Evolution, but I guess the Z moves are replacing Mega Evolution, so that's a bit lame, but it is definitely probably safe to say at this point that we will not see Mega Evolution coming to Sun and Moon, so instead we will be seeing Alola forms and Z moves. But with that, I think that's it. I think that's everything. The past few trailers, including the ones I've missed, a ton of new Pokemon, new moves, potential change to the gym style, riding Pokemon, Alolan forms. There was a lot. This was a really long one. So if you stuck through to the end, I appreciate this half an hour of Sun and Moon crazy talk. And I'm looking forward to even more in the future as we get more information, as we get ever so closer to these growing, amazing looking games. So if you enjoyed this video, do give that like button a nice little poke for me. Scroll on over and poke the subscribe button. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to scroll on down, leave a comment. Let me know what you think of all this information, all of the cool new Pokemon we've gotten, whether you think they're cool or not. Like I said, some of the most recent ones I've gotten, I've been kind of getting like, I don't really know what you can become. Not that they're not cool, but I don't know, just we'll have to wait and see on that one. But anyway, I've rambled enough. Let me know what you guys think down below, and until next time, guys, I'll see you then.